If your children were born after 2005, they don't know what boredom is. I'm old enough, and you might be as well, to remember being on a plane for like a 5-hour flight and finishing your book an hour into the flight and then just staring out the window. Or having a day where you don't have anywhere to go and mom wouldn't let you turn on the television and you were forced to use your imagination. Kids after 2005 are hardwired digitally. They do not know what boredom is. If you ask kids today if when they're bored, if they reach for a device, a huge percentage of them will tell you, yes, I reach for my phone, I reach for my tablet, I go to my computer, I play a video game when I'm bored. Boredom is secret sauce and it is lost. So in this video, we're going to talk about how to reclaim childhood by hacking into summer. These tips work year-round, but right now it's May 2024. Summer is on the wing, and I want you to be ready. Okay, one of the best summers of my children's life, of their life. I have 5 sons. There was this one summer that they could not keep their rooms clean. So I confiscated every single toy. And I'm not joking. I got bins, I got garbage bags, and I took everything except the minimum amount of clothing that they needed, and I put everything and I held it hostage in my room where they were not allowed to go for the entire summer. The first couple days were met with incredible resistance, and I was ready to give in because they were driving me crazy. Kids that are so used to being overstimulated and have so much stuff to touch and to play with that they were suddenly walking around in circles as if one of their legs was 2 feet shorter, trying to figure out what to do. And their activity of choice was to drive mom crazy or to drive each other crazy. So I took all of their toys and activities away, and then I started to send them outside to play. You would have thought that that is a form of Chinese torture. They resisted like crazy. And then something magic happened. I don't remember if it was 3 days in or a weekend. After breakfast, the boys said nothing. They just bolted outside to go play. It was after their chores were done. And I sat there going, oh my goodness. And for the rest of the summer, they had a ball playing with sticks and stones and each other. They were allowed to play with some of the things in the garage, so bicycles and Nerf guns and those types of things, frisbees and footballs. As they played outside, the neighborhood kids started to come outside. So I want to give you some tips and tricks, and I'm going to encourage you and challenge you to hack summer. So these are 6 things that you can do to help your kids unlock creativity, which lives on the other side of boredom, and break them free from their very likely device addiction. But it's going to take some prep work on your side. Okay. Number 1, understand that in order for outside to be amazing, you're going to get resistance, especially if you and your children are used to quiet time inside, device time inside, video games, playing quietly in their room, all those things. They're gonna resist going outside, but that's okay. It's a short-term challenge, and you, just like me, are gonna have to be strong and courageous. The other thing is, number 1, you need to make inside boring. It needs to be unprofitable for them to stay inside. They, yes, should do their normal chores, and yes, children should have chores. They should do their normal chores, and then they should go outside to play. If they resist and if they stay inside, then what should greet them are more chores, more boring activities. Fill in the blank. You know your children. Make sure that they're not rewarded by choosing to stay inside. Instead, teach them how to clean the baseboards with a toothbrush, or to let's deep clean the kitchen floor, or whatever. Make it boring for them. And if you do succumb to screens, make the screen choices boring. Find something that they don't love and find some black and white documentary on it that has really bad audio and tell them that they can watch that for 20 minutes or they can go outside and play. So that's the first thing. You got to make inside boring. Number 2, this is where you're going to need to be ready. And we'll talk about what you do in a minute, but you're going to want to pre-invest in high value things that the kids are going to eat and drink outside. Imagine if you're training a puppy that is highly motivated by food, their dry dog food doesn't make them do backflips. But if you get those peanut butter flavored things that stink really bad, that puppy will do anything to get that treat. You want the treats and the snacks and the drinks that your kids are going to be enjoying outside all day to be of high value. They don't have to be sugar. It can be fruits. It can be vegetable trays. It can be natural ice pops that you make. We did Otter Pops, and I know that they don't have nutritional value, but my kids loved them. Lemonade, juices, ice cubes that have fruit frozen in them. Be creative, but start to collect high value snack foods, high value drinks. On the inside, if they stay inside, they should be able to have water and some kind of nutritional snack like unsweetened bran cereal, right? So the choice, it should be a no-brainer for them to want to stay outside to eat and drink and enjoy life. So that's number 2, be ready with high value foods and drinks. Number 3, I already said that, make all indoor snacks boring. Water, bran cereal, unsweetened, unflavored, all of those things, so that it makes it easy for them to choose to be outside. Number 4, you're going to want to collect props or kits of things that inspire creativity. You can get a big bin of sidewalk chalk. You can go to the thrift store and go on a shopping spree for like $5 and get all kinds of fun outdoor toys. We had school quality jump ropes, and don't laugh. When I first brought it home, the boys kind of rolled their eyes, but within a week, all the neighborhood kids would come for jump rope time and they would see who could jump the most. So be creative. You know your kids the best, but you are going to want to collect things for them to play with, but also things that can create stations. Hammocks that you can hang in the shade. Tents that you can put in the shade so that when they get tired, when they need to rest, they can either hang or they can go into the tent so that they always have the opportunity to just calm down and just rest. Like beach type towels, beach chairs. Doesn't need a lot. You don't need a lot, but you're gonna want to have your foods prepped and you're gonna want to have some props. And then you'll want to, number 5, curate things like music playlists. I used music as a cue for the boys, so they knew if they were listening to a CD that they were in that mode of play or activity for the duration of the CD. And you can have 1 or 2 CDs. You can have 12, it doesn't matter, but you can use a CD that says, okay, during this time, that's free time play. During this time, that's when everybody's going to spread out a blanket and they're going to do some kind of craft or quiet thing like Legos or blocks or an art activity or something. And then number 6, the secret sauce is you. You need to paint the scene as if being outside and playing, free playing, being a kid is like the best thing on the planet. And some of the pieces of the day, you will need to be outside as well. And I can already hear you. There are some moms in my little Homeschooling Olympians group that just cringe at being outside all day. There, you can look up the benefits of actually physically touching the earth and what it does just to your blood and your blood's ability to filter out things that are not healthy for you, just look up the word grounding. It's powerful. So what types of things can you do? You can look at the day as a routine. In the morning, you're going to do breakfast, you're going to do chores, everybody's going to get ready, and then the kids are going to go outside and play. Free play. Don't try to tell them this is a good time to play that make-believe game. They're going to say things like, I'm bored, and you get to say, that's awesome, because creativity lives on the other side of boredom. So be bored for as long as it takes for your amazing ideas to come out of your mind. You can break up the morning so they do free play. Then you come outside with a wonderful snack and a high-value drink, not soda, but something that they're like, oh, yes. So they get to sit, they get to have a snack, they get to have a drink. At some point, you weave in story time. So you will spread out a blanket. Maybe you eat lunch outside as a picnic together. And then after lunch, everybody sits and you enjoy picture book together, chapter books together. Then everybody lays out a blanket or their hammock or a tent, and everybody gets quiet rest for like 45 minutes to 2 hours, depending on how much your kids sleep. And then when they wake up, they get another high-value snack, and then they get to play, and then you get to come back inside and do dinner. Do you have to stay outside all day? No, unless your kids are little and they need to be 100% supervised. At the height of these seasons for my own children, we lived in homes that were fenced or in very safe neighborhoods. So some of the playtime, the kids would be playing in the backyard and I would be prepping snacks, meal prepping, doing laundry, that type of thing. Some of the seasons as the kids got older, my kids played outside. My kids still play outside, and they're 18, 20, 22, 25, and 30. When they get together, they bust out into sword fighting and that game Ninja where you try to they run around like crazy because they never bought the lie that you're never too old to play. And being outside is powerful. So I'm going to encourage you, hack summer. It is so healthy for your children and you to unplug from devices and being stuck inside and to embrace movement, sunshine, fresh air, etc. Now, what if it's raining? Umbrellas. Splash in the mud. Have a blast. Don't worry about them getting all muddy. It is so good for them to splash in mud. You just have a hose handy so that you can hose them off. What if it's freezing? Then you're going to need to go in bursts, but there's no such thing as bad weather. There's just inappropriate clothing. So that's where the collecting to being ready, make sure that you have the materials that you need so that the kids can play outside. Now, am I saying that your kids should go outside at 8 o'clock in the morning and come back at dinner? Maybe, but not necessarily. Give them huge chunks of time where they are required to go outside and play. And I'm guessing that after you get past the resistance phase, you, like me, are going to watch your kids' creativity blossom in ways that you never thought possible. There's something that they would like to become better at, like playing a guitar, riding a bicycle, or doing some kind of art like painting, things that are portable. Then give them the carrying devices so that they can carry their supplies outside, a bag or a bin, and give them a space and time for them to lean into things like painting or clay. It's a beautiful time to do things like glue and glitter outside, right? That kind of stuff. And then don't underestimate the power of a really hot day, bathing suits, shade, sunscreen, and giving your kids access to things where they can play in the water. It's just a magical time in childhood. So no, most of you don't have kids that understand what true boredom is. But I can tell you, if you can tap into that for a season of life, your kids will learn to get along better. They will become more independent. They will become more creative, and they will build stronger relationships with their siblings or their neighborhood friends and with you. It is worth hacking summer by following those steps. So, number one, make inside boring. Number two, be ready with snacks and high value drinks. Number three, make all indoor snacks and activities super boring. Number four, get any and all props that you need. Be thrifty. You don't have to spend a lot of money. Sometimes you can even swap with another friend. Number five, collect. Get an old CD player or a cassette player and get some music so that the kids have some audio cues to what time of day it is in their routine. And number six, routine. You decide the flow of the day and you bookmark the different parts of the day by snacks, lunch, and you reading, and you watch. It is magic.